bond between Jukebox and Agatha was something special from the start. They weren't just friends. They were more like two halves of one heart. Wherever one went, the other followed. They leaned against each other when they walked, slept pressed side by side, and never seemed to let go. When rescuers first found them, they were wandering the streets together. No one knew where they had come from or how long they had been on their own. What was clear was that they had survived by depending on each other completely. Even when they arrived at the shelter, surrounded by other dogs and safe for the first time in a while, they still clung to each other. The staff gave them soft beds to sleep in, but they only wanted one. They curled up together every night, refusing to be apart. Anytime someone tried to separate them, even for a short walk or a routine check, they cried, reaching out their paws toward each other. It broke everyone's hearts to see how much they needed one another. The shelter staff quickly realized that they were a bonded pair. Wherever they went, it had to be together. But adopting two dogs at once isn't easy. Most people who came to the shelter were only looking for one companion. So day after day, Jukebox and Agatha waited. They watched people walk past their kennel, stopping to smile, then moving on. The staff worried that no one would ever choose both of them. Still, the two dogs never lost hope. As long as they had each other, they stayed calm, patient, and loving. Then one day, everything changed. A couple named Aaron and Ubaldo came across their photo online. They had recently lost their old dog, and the house had felt painfully quiet ever since. Something about the picture of Jukebox and Agatha sitting close together caught their attention. They looked at each other and said, "We have to meet them." When they arrived at the shelter, they understood immediately. The connection between Jukebox and Agatha was impossible to miss. The moment one of them moved, the other followed. They looked up at Aaron and Ubaldo with eyes full of hope, and in that instant, the couple knew. These two were meant to come home together. Word spread through the shelter quickly. Volunteers whispered to each other with smiles, saying it felt like a little miracle had just happened. Jukebox and Agatha were finally getting their chance. When the couple brought them home, the dogs seemed to understand right away. As soon as the front door opened, they ran from room to room, tails wagging, exploring every corner, but never straying far from their new family's side. It was like they were checking to make sure this new happiness was real. That first night, they couldn't quite settle down. They moved between their bed, the couch, and the hallway, circling back again and again to make sure Aaron and Ubaldo were still there. It was as if they were afraid the dream might fade away. But within a few days, they began to relax. They realized this wasn't another stop. This was home. As time passed, their personalities began to shine. Jukebox turned out to be the quiet one, gentle, shy, and thoughtful. He liked to observe before jumping in, always calm but cautious. Agatha was the warm heart of the pair, affectionate, playful, always ready with a soft nudge or a sweet kiss. Together, they balanced each other perfectly. Jukebox found his courage through Agatha's confidence, and she found peace in his steady presence. Their new family often said that the house finally felt full again. The silence that had lingered after their old dog passed away was gone. It had been replaced by laughter, footsteps, wagging tails, and the sound of two dogs who finally felt safe enough to just be themselves. Now, Jukebox and Agatha spend their days running in the yard, playing tug-of-war and curling up side by side when the day is done. They follow Aaron and Ubaldo everywhere, from the kitchen to the couch, from walks in the park to lazy evenings watching TV. It's like they've made a silent promise to never be apart again. At night, they share a bed just like they did in the shelter. Sometimes they sleep nose to nose, other times with their paws touching. It's a small reminder of the bond that helped them survive the hardest times. The transformation in both of them is simple but beautiful. They used to cling to each other out of fear of losing everything again. Now they stay close out of comfort and love. Their story reminds everyone that family doesn't always come in the way we expect. Sometimes, it comes as two inseparable souls who were just waiting for the right home to find them. Jukebox and Agatha once had nothing. Then they found each other, and eventually, a family that saw them for who they were. A perfect pair meant to stay together. Every time their family watches them play or nap side by side, it's clear they didn't just rescue two dogs. They welcomed two hearts that healed together. There are still many bonded pairs like Jukebox and Agatha waiting in shelters, holding on to each other and hoping someone will take a chance on them. If their story made you smile, maybe it's a sign to visit your local shelter. You never know. You might find a pair of souls who've been waiting just for you. And if this story touched your heart, give it a like, share it, and help more people see how love can change everything. Sometimes one small share is all it takes to help two lost souls find home again.